Hey everyone, and welcome to ChetChat. Recently, the HRD Minister in India made an announcement for all medical and engineering aspirants that starting 2019, you could appear for the NEET and JEE entrance exams twice a year, as against once a year earlier. Now, what does this mean for us? I mean, does it have any implications? Is this good for us? How does this impact us? We're going to analyze every single thing in this video today. And for that, we have with us Mr. Vivek Sinha, who's the Western India head for Career Launcher and has over 18 years of experience in the education industry. But before we're going to invite Mr. Vivek Sinha to join us, you're going to press that subscribe button and don't forget the bell icon. And I also wanted to remind you that we've done a video on how to crack the NEET entrance exam, and we've also done one on the AIMS entrance exam. We have tons of videos on the medical and engineering career in general, which you want to go back and watch for sure once you've finished watching this one. So let me introduce Vivek to you. So Vivek, it's a great pleasure to have you in our studio today.
Yeah.
And thank you for taking the trouble to come in here. You know, this announcement was just made 5 days ago.
True.
And through all the Bombay rains and traffic, thank you for taking the time to come and talk to us about this today.
Pleasure from my end, yeah.
So Vivek, tell us, there's been this change not only in the number of times that the exam can be taken,
Right.
but also in the testing agency itself. So let's start with the NTA.
Right.
They formed this new agency which will now conduct the exams as against CBSE and AICTE that were doing it earlier.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about this, the new agency, and how it's going to impact us.
Sure. In the recent press conference on 7th of July, our HRD Minister, Mr. Prakash Javadekar, announced the creation of the National Testing Agency. Way back in November 2017, our Union Cabinet, chaired by Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, he had approved NTA to be formed. The core responsibility of NTA will be to conduct entrance examination for higher educational institutes.
Right.
Till now, this responsibility was with CBSE. CBSE, other than conducting these entrance examination, which is JEE Main or NEET or CMAT and couple of other entrance examinations, they were also conducting 10th and 12th board.
Yes, yes.
Right. And there was a feeling that CBSE is like overloaded and they are not able to control the leakages or the leakage of the question paper and certain other difficulties which they were facing. So that is the reason, that was the concept behind creating the National Testing Agency, and they will now be responsible for conducting the entrance examination starting 2019 onwards.
Fantastic. So the first good news is that leakages of papers hopefully will go down substantially.
Absolutely,
now, starting next year.
Right.
Let's talk about these two different times at which you can take the exam.
Right.
For NEET, I think it's February and May, and for JEE, I think it's January and April.
Correct.
So earlier students were, all geared up to take this exam once in a year.
Right.
Now we've told them you can take it twice in a year.
Right.
Now the question they probably want to know is, should they necessarily take it twice, or can they give it only once out of the two times, and how will this whole thing work for them?
See, now the option is you can appear both the times.
Okay.
Right. In case you feel that your preparation is not as per your expectation for the first examination, you can skip the first examination. But I believe taking the examination for the second time as well, and in continuation with the first time, I don't see any problem in doing that. So
Okay.
I will definitely suggest students to take both the examination. Anyways, whichever is your higher score, if let's say in the month of January you did not do well,
right,
and in the month of April in JEE Main examination your score was higher, so the higher score will be considered for ranking into the NITs, IIITs and GFTIs. So,
fantastic.
yeah.
And the higher aggregate score out of the two attempts
Correct.
will be picked up.
So,
for example, if a student sits for the exam for JEE in January,
right,
and perhaps in a month or so they'll get their result also.
Right.
If they get their result and they're happy with that result, they could skip the second
Absolutely.
yes,
There is
attempt?
no problem in
Okay.
skipping the second attempt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the variation in difficulty level of the papers. That's another thing that's worrying students. You know.
Yeah.
Even on the first attempt, there are 8 different dates and timings on which you can take the exam. So I'm assuming there are 8 different sets of question papers that are getting made
True.
for the first attempt.
True.
And there are 8 probably getting made for the second attempt.
Right.
Now, how are they going to make sure that the difficulty level is standardized and the student doesn't ultimately suffer out of bad luck?
This 8 question paper has come out with a concept that this examination is going to be held online. When the examination is going to be held online and which is given by approximately 12 lakh students, based on our current infrastructure in India, I mean, it is impossible for any government to make arrangement for 12 lakh students to give examination on a single day at a single point of time. Right. So that is the reason they have said that they will do at 4 different dates, having 2 slots each. As per the press release, it is very clearly indicated that the question paper would be of uniform difficulty level. They will ensure that all the questions which are there has uniform difficulty level. So there is absolutely no problem, and students should not be worrying on that particular part. Yeah.
I think the point you're making is absolutely right, that they shouldn't spend a lot of their time and energy now worrying over whether I want to sit on day 1 or day 4 or first attempt or second attempt. I think if they just focus on the subject matter, you're saying that the NTA will take care of the variation, they will take care that the best score is taken on.
Right.
Talking about the online exam, that's another change. You know, students were used to the paper-based exam.
Right.
Also, there are so many students in India that don't have access to computers for practicing for the computer-based exam in the first place. So, what steps is the NTA taking to get everybody onto a level playing field?
Right. So, see, now NTA has very clearly stated in the press release that they are going to identify different schools and Kendriya Vidyalayas, and they are going to offer free testing to the students based on a pre-booking kind of a slot to be done by the students. So that arrangement is already being done, and it will be notified to the students by first week of August. Okay. So that student who do not have access to computers at home, so they can definitely go to different schools and Kendriya Vidyalayas and do practice over there.
So Vivek, I think this is fantastic that the exams are in January and February, and right from August, all they need to do is book a testing center, perhaps all over the country, and they can go and practice as much as they want to do well in that exam in January.
Right.
There's one more question I wanted to ask you. So earlier the NEET and the JEE was conducted by CBSE and AICTE, and the advanced JEE, which is the exam that they would take after the JEE Mains, was conducted by the IITs themselves.
Right.
So now that NTA has taken over the NEET and the Mains JEE, what is the status of the advanced JEE exam?
As of now, advanced will be conducted by IITs only. So there is no notification of the advanced examination to be conducted by NTA as of now. It might change in future, but as of now, it will be conducted by IITs only.
By the IITs only.
Yeah.
And there's another question that they would be interested in. Does the syllabus change? Does the question paper format change? You know, what changes and what doesn't change for them?
Sure. So what I'll do is I will quickly tell you what has changed and what has not changed.
Fantastic.
Okay. So what has changed is, one, the examination is going to be online. It's completely online. Whether it is JEE Main or NEET, it's going to be online. The second change is it is going to be conducted by NTA, not the CBSE.
Right.
Third is you have option to give examination twice. You can attempt once, you can attempt both the time.
Okay.
The fourth change is whichever, if you are giving both the examination, whichever exam you do, you get a better score, that score is going to be counted.
Perfect.
So that is what is there, which has changed. So what has not changed is syllabus, eligibility criteria, examination pattern, examination fees, and there is one more, which is languages. So NEET, it gives you option to attempt in 11 different languages.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And JEE Main, till now they were giving option to attempt in 3 languages. So
Okay.
this remains unchanged.
So I think it's overall, I would think it's great news for students watching the show and appearing for these exams, because we are saying the leakages will be reduced.
Right.
And the exam is now going to be conducted by a central agency that's going to ensure transparency. They're going to do a equalization of all your variation in scores.
Right.
They're giving you 2 opportunities in case you didn't, on that one particular day, for example, you fell ill. Now you have 2 opportunities to give that exam.
True, true.
And nothing else has changed. Even the cost hasn't changed.
Right.
Plus they've given us practice centers all
Right.
over the country to go and practice the test online.
Right.
Overall, I think it's cause to celebrate.
Definitely, definitely.
So thank you so much, Vivek, for being with us and sharing all this information with us. And I'm sure it's going to put to rest a lot of concerns that they have.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And thank you for watching till the end. I'm sure you still have some questions on the implication of this twice a year versus once a year. Whatever questions you have about your NEET exam, about your JEE exam, or about anything at all, put everything in the comment section under the video. And don't forget to press that subscribe button and the bell notification button. And also like us at Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at ChetChat101. And happy watching.